This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I've gotta let it shine.
Good morning, Wilshire Presbyterian Church. For you who cannot volunteer here on a Monday morning, I thought I want to show you what happens here every Monday morning. Our church has been doing this food pantry for more than 30 years. And most of our clients used to be people who are retired. You know, people that live in an urban area like this, in apartments that are retired, they live on a fixed income. But as the price of rent is rising, food is rising, cost of living is rising, people find them after a few years in retirement in quite a dilemma. They can't pay their rent and their food and their electricity and their medication. So they have to make really hard choices. And so that's the reason why our church started this food pantry, so that we can help those neighbors of us that are struggling to make ends meet. So on Monday mornings, me and Pastor Sam and Pastor Zay and all our volunteers, we show up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then we set up all this that you see behind us. I have about 30 volunteers from our church, from New Dawn, and from First Progressive Church of Los Angeles, Pastor Sam's church. And we at Wilshire Press are so thankful for them, because without them, I do not know how we will be able to do this week after week after week. After all, it turns out that this is going to be a marathon. This is not going to be over anytime soon. And so without these volunteers that give all their time every week, this would not be possible. Thank you, you guys. Now, unbelievably, the people who we serve, our clients, also show up, and they show up here next to the fence from 5 o'clock in the morning. So by the time when we open at 8 o'clock, the lines stretch all across down Western. And so we open the gate at 8 o'clock, and people come in and they line up, they sign in the back.
We ask for their name, how many people in their family, and if it's their first time this month.
Usually on a Monday we served about 120 people, but when COVID-19 broke out, something totally different happened. Suddenly our numbers trifolded. We now have 400 people standing here on a line on a Monday morning. So that means when somebody now signs up, they're asking food for them, their spouse and their children, and sometimes their parents too. And so, although we have 400 people lining up, we are actually serving about 1,600 people every Monday. Where 95% of our clients used to be retirees, now 90% of our clients are people who are young with families. We try to give them a whole week's worth of groceries, so that they don't need to go from here to another food bank to another food bank, so that they can have enough food for the week and then come back next Monday. They get 3 stations where they get food. Our first station is where they get a big box. This is a box that we hand out every morning, Monday morning. It is full of all the dried groceries, you know, like the cans of food, the pasta, the rice, and it weighs 30 pounds. Can you imagine having to carry this home? Then the next station they're gonna get extra things that's not in that box, you know, like milk and yogurt and butter, cheese, meat. And the last station, whatever fresh produce we receive, whether it's today it's potatoes, plums, grapes and apples. It's now 10:15, and remember all these pallets with boxes behind me? This is all that is done. This is 2 hours and 15 minutes later. And we have served by now around 400 people have signed up. So we work really fast, but every week we run out of fruit before we run out of people. And that just tells you what is going on in the country right now. Our wonderful volunteers, as I said, shows up 6 o'clock on a Monday morning. So what we do is that we have another volunteer who cooks lunch for all our volunteers. We are so thankful. every week provided us with fantastic nourishment after a crazy, busy, hard-working Monday morning. And this is a very, very special ministry because in these times, there's not much we can do for one another because we are stuck. We're stuck at home. We don't have a lot of mobility because there is so much precautions in place to keep us safe. That for our church, this is our way, that we take care of our neighborhood, that we are Jesus' hands and feet in the world around us. And so, thank you to all of you who volunteer at this food pantry. Thank you to all of you who financially support this food pantry. That is much appreciated.
Jesus gave it to me. Oh yes, he did. I'm gonna let it shine. Shine. Jesus gave it to me. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, Jesus gave it to me. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let it shine. 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 Let it shine.